Hey Soul Family, quick heads up. This Tuesday, August 12th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be live streaming Part 7 of the Soul Awakening podcast, Embodying the Universal Laws. Part 7 is the Law of Rhythm, the dance of life. If you've been feeling stuck or off or tired, this one's for you. We'll talk about how to stop resisting the ups and downs of life and start moving with your soul's natural rhythm. You're not broken. You're just in a different season. Let's stop forcing and start flowing. Tune in this Tuesday. I'll meet you there. Welcome in. Welcome in, all. I'm going to say that again. Welcome in. Welcome in, all. Hold on just 1 second. I have an echo. I'm going to get rid of the echo. Seventh universal law, the law of rhythm. This law reminds us that everything in the universe moves in cycles. You can tell it in the tides, in the seasons, in the rising and falling of a breath, the wind, the echoes through the canyons. So just as the ocean breathes into a wave and exhales out of the wave back to the ocean, so do our lives. They expand, they contract. This was given to us for divine purpose, if you want to use that word divine. Right? If you want to use the word divine. It was given to us with purpose. And we were given intention within us to breathe into life, to create, and then exhale out of life to change it. It's a cycle. Nothing was ever supposed to stay the same. Everything comes to a rhythmic end and then a rhythmic beginning. The law of rhythm teaches us not to resist the ebbs and the flows, not to resist the expansion and the contraction, but to consistently dance with this rhythm. In this episode, we're going to explore the laws that show us how to emotionally embrace, embody this rhythmic call. Embrace it in your spirituality, embrace it in your spiritual evolution, embrace it in your reality. I know everybody's telling you this is only you're a soul just dreaming that you're human, but this is a reality that we were given. So however you see your reality is how, and however you dive into your ebbs and flow are solely
upon you. You're responsible for them all. Whether you know them or whether you're aware of them or not, whether you're conscious of them or not, whether you believe in them or not, the ebb and flow of rhythm of the universe is constantly playing in your background. So let's take a deep breath. Let's take another one. Ebb and flow. One last one. Your breath. Your inhalation and your exhalation. Your rhythm. Let's open our heart space. Let's open our intuition space. And dig down deep into our root space to understand the law of rhythm. So just as we said, the tides rise and they fall, the moon waxes on and it wanes, our lives do also. We have seasons: winter, summer, spring, fall. It all changes, and it all has a rhythm and cycles, patterns. This law reminds us that nothing is going to stay the same forever. That when we resist rhythm, it comes to us in the form of suffering or hardship or difficulties. That which we resist persists. It keeps coming around and it keeps asking you, what do you want me to do with this? Because it reminds you, you created the rhythm. Whether you were conscious of it or not, whether you were aware of it or not, whether you believe in it or not, we're responsible for it. We are rhythm. Every time the blood moves through your body to different organs and through your whole systems to regenerate everything in your body, that's rhythm. It's ebb and flow. It's going to happen. Even when you're sleeping, the ebb and flow of your lungs, the ebb and flow or the contraction of your heart as it beats. It beats, then it pushes blood through your body, then it contracts, and then it takes in air, and then it pushes blood through your body, and then it contracts. It's a rhythm to it. Ever put your hand to your heart and felt it beating? Ever put headphones on before the music starts? If your headphones are securely on your ears, you can hear your heartbeat. Ebb and flow. When we learn about this flow, we begin to understand how to align to its wisdom, because it has a wisdom of the universe. So we're going to learn how to explore the deeper meaning of the law of rhythm, how to recognize it and how to honor it in your current season, not someone else's. They've got to honor theirs in their own season. why we're resisting the low phases, and how that leads to burnout and imbalance, how to live in tune with our own natural energetic flow, and how to practice embodying this law in our spirit, in and on our spiritual path. As you settle into the space, let's keep taking those deep breaths, the ebb and flow. The law of rhythm tells us that every cycle moves. Everything in the universe moves. There's a cycle for growth, and then there's a cycle for everything as what we call dying. Right? Farmers learned this early on, that there's a cycle for planting the seeds and allowing the rain to fall and the wind to carry the seeds across so that it can ground and begin to grow. There's a season for that. There's an ebb and flow to it. Then there's a season to harvest. And then there's also a season to allow the ground to regenerate before it gets planted again or planted in again. The ebb and flow, the rhythm. This law reminds us that all life flows in repeating patterns. Nothing stays static. It's got to change. We might want it to stay the same. When you're riding high, rhythm ensures you eventually slow down, like a pendulum. When you're in a low, rhythm guarantees that you'll return to a high or to the light. You can't have one without the other. Here's some natural examples that, if you want, we can examine. The tides. That's why most people love going to the beach, because they love hearing the ebb and flow of the water. The ebb and flow of the water is controlled, or it's believed to be controlled, by the moon. The moon understands the ebb and flow. The moon understands the contraction, the pulling of the waves in and the pushing of the waves out. It understands. Let's talk about another one. This one I notice a lot of people have complaints about: the seasons. In many different parts of the world, the seasons happen differently. But it's still an ebb and a flow. It's still a rhythm. In Australia, right now, they're in winter while we're in summer. Still an ebb and a flow. Still a rhythm. While California right now is having a beautiful, sunny, hot day, there are parts of the East Coast that are feeling torrential rains, ebb and flow. It's a rhythmic to it. It's not always going to be the same. It's not going to be the same in 2025 as it was in 1979. The law of rhythm guarantees that change is going to happen. Another example is night and day. Night and day. The universal law within this duality, three-dimensional duality, requires that we have night and day. It's a vibrational flow. We flow from morning into afternoon, into evening, into night. Night, we get the chance to reset through sleep, ebb and flow. And then we flow from sleep to morning to awakening to a new now moment. Our breath, the inhale and the exhale. And lo and behold, the last one are emotional cycles. They help teach us about us. They help us to know thyself through our emotional cycles. We were told that the emotional cycles are bad, but no. If we're acknowledging them and asking them embodying questions, it's a contraction and an expansion and a contraction. It's a shifting and evolution, and then shifting and evolving again. It's a wash and a rinse and a repeat. In nature, nothing blooms all year, and yet we expect ourselves to. Nothing blooms all year. Roses don't bloom all year. Grapes don't grow as sweet as they could during their cycle, though we as human beings grow them all year. And then we get upset when they're not there at their sweetest. It's the same way with watermelon. The law teaches us to trust divine timing. Trust that the divine, the creator, knew what it was doing when it created the law of rhythm, the ebb and flow of everything, including you. We are not in control of the flow. We're just part of it. I'll repeat that again. We are not in control of the flow. We are just part of the flow. The flow is energy, and energy will flow till it gets to you and it says, what can I do for you? And being part of that flow, you can say, this is what I desire. I intend to be happy today. And that's where your flow is going to rise and fall at, depending on how intensely you are embodying that moment that you want. Everything has a season, including you. When I started a new job, and I go at the 8-year mark of one job, all of a sudden the new owners decide, or then they were new owners, they were mom and pop owners, they grew their company, and at 8 years they decided to sell. Ebb and flow. And then the contraction or the flow of that changed for me. Right? Because when they sold the company, the new owners came in and they wanted to have their own accounting department. So then that contraction pushed me out to experience another job, a new company, new mom and pop growing their company, right? Everything is expanding and contracting. You may not have seen it in your life like that, but embody that. Start looking at your life in little now moments, even in past, because each one of your past moments was a now moment. Don't try judging it. Just try having that moment of discernment, that quiet moment of awareness, being aware of it, and seeing where the expansion and the contraction is. And once you are aware of it, then you get to decide, what do I want to do with it in my now moment, because it's calling me to do something. Most people have a fear of the ebb. The low tide to failure. But the low tide is not failure. It's rest. It can be integration. It can be preparation. A lot of people avoid clinging to the highs because they're over attached to success or the good vibes, which can lead them to fear of this ending and coming to an end and having fear of change. But everything is an ebb and a flow. Ebb and a flow requires change. Everything is rhythm. Everything is a pattern. It'll show up and it'll show you where you might want to go, or where you might, or when it's time to leave a certain method or story, and choose a different method to go to a new story. The law of rhythm is in everything. Your music, it's in your poetry, it's in our poems, it's even in the history books. Rhythm is pattern, and pattern is rhythm. Look at how they help the blind read. The Braille is patterns, rhythmic, written patterns. Patterns, right? Look at all the art that people spend thousands and millions of dollars on, because of a certain brush stroke, because of a pattern, because of a rhythmic pattern that people brush. Listen to the creation of productions of music. And people will say, well, these couple of notes give you this pattern of music. And they say, well, if you're listening to this hertz or this hertz, it's good for to heal cancer, or it's good to ignite your third eye. The law of rhythm requires expansion. It requires you to expand, to allow the rise and fall of the note. It's based on shifting. It's based on growth and evolution. We as human beings, we were made to cycle. We were made to stretch and rest. We were made to create and receive. We were made to burn and renew. Let's talk about, I'm going to talk about a real experience to me that happened to me. In the last 2 years, I've experienced grief. I've experienced burnout. I've experienced a type of spiritual dryness. And at first, I was resisting it because I was saying, well, I'm spiritual. I'm not supposed to be feeling all of this. But I am triune and I am supposed to feel all of this. When my grandson passed away at 4 months, it was a story that I was supposed to feel. The ebb and flow of emotions. When I experienced burnout and found out that that's what my body was saying, I can't take this, Sandy. I'm trying to tell you that you need to take care of yourself. And when we did the mammograms and they found everything, it was my body experiencing the ebb and flow and not acknowledging it consciously and being aware that I needed to take a moment to rest, regenerate, restore, and heal. Those are ebb and flows. We as human beings were meant to do that. I know when you hear the law of rhythm, you want to talk about music and everything. Your body has music in it. Your blood vessels, as they move blood through your body, have a rhythm to it. It has a rhythm that it gives to your liver and a different rhythm that it gives to your bladder and a different rhythm that it gives to your heart and your lungs, a different rhythm that that ebbs and flows in every part of your brain matter. We extend ourselves to the point where we don't listen to the law of rhythm within us. We're too busy listening to other people tell us how we should feel or how we should see things or how we should hear the music. We're busy listening and telling other people how their music is evil. And how they hear their music. Rock and roll is this, and punk rock is that, and oh, you shouldn't listen to that, and you shouldn't listen. There's an ebb and flow to everything that a person chooses to do until they feel that it is not working for their highest and greatest good. They have to embody the rhythm within what they're listening to as far as music, what they're reading as far as words, what they're doing as far as action, who they're becoming as far as their knowing their self-worth and what works for them and what doesn't. There's a rhythm to it. And no two rhythms are the same. Growth and expansion is part of the evolution of ebb and flow, of the contraction and then flow. Eventually surrender to the season and something will shift. I know I had to surrender. I had to surrender to my season of growth in the grief area. I found myself, well, if I had been, in my grandson's life longer, he would have lived instead of died. What does that say? But when you surrender to the ebb and flow of, well, he came, he experienced, and he had to surrender the body that no longer was helping him in his journey. That was an ebb and a flow. I had to surrender to my burnout, literally burned out so much that I never thought I would take several months off of Instagram, but everything changed. The numbers went down a little, and the people that used to come onto my lives don't come on anymore. But that's ebb and flow. That's not because of me. That's because they had their own ebb and flow. Growth and expansion. And then I noticed that something did shift in me when I surrendered to the ebb and flow, that things did change, that growth is going to happen because of the rhythmic tides of life. When I stopped fighting, I discovered it wasn't punishment, but that it was a spiritual protection of body, mind, and soul. But I had to embody that first to become aware of it. Or in being aware of it, I had to embody it. Let's put it, that's a better way. What season are you in right now? Are you honoring it or are you fighting it? Are you honoring the law of your rhythm or are you fighting it? Nothing wrong with that. One size does not fit all. If you're in the moment of fighting, that's an ebb and that's a flow. You decide how it feels to you. It's a choice. It's a free will choice. The polarity energies, both negative and positive, positive and negative, were meant to be experienced. We weren't meant to stay in it because change is going to happen and then you do something new. Right? So here are signs of resistance where the law of rhythm is concerned. Forcing actions during your rest phases. Have you ever said to yourself when you rest, oh, I'm just being lazy. I need to be doing something. That's your egoic personal self saying, that's not good. We need to be moving because your egoic self needs to be in chatter mode. It doesn't honor the ebb and flow of rhythm. It's chaotic to to your egoic personal self. You can feel guilt or shame around resting, or that you're slow, or, people are saying you should be grinding, doing the grind. There's no rest for the wicked. You got to wickedly be doing so that you can attain. Or you're a lack of motivation, or you're overextending yourself during certain creative surges of yours, and not replenishing, not taking time to rest, not taking a moment to turn on your TV, click your YouTube on your TV and listen to some meditational music. Take a moment to say, or turn on a favorite TV show, or listen to your favorite music, or go out on your patio and just watch the neighborhood. Another sign is feeling broken, because your emotions are fluctuating because of this ebb and flow, because you don't understand it yet, or because you haven't had that quiet moment where your ego is taking a back seat, and your higher being is listening. As your ego is moving to the back seat, as that chatter is starting to lessen, because now your egoic self is being watched by your higher being. There's that moment. And in that moment, as your ego moves to the back, it's saying, no, you're being lazy. Oh, we can't do this. We can't let so much time pass. I mean, I was there, but I had to do the ebb and flow, or be in the ebb and flow of taking care of my body. Every time I was going to do a little live on my Instagram, I had a doctor would call me, or their assistant would call as I got ready to press the play button. And guess what? My first thing is I got pissed, because I was resisting the ebb and flow of, okay, I have to take this call now, so that, I need to hear what's happening and what I'm going to do next, choose next to do. There's a rhythm to it. I asked for great care givers from Kaiser, from my unit. I asked that I would always be in communication, and they would always be in communication with me. That's ebb and flow. I have to choose. I had to choose which ebb and flow I wanted to be in at that moment. But my ego, as it was moving towards the back, is telling me, oh, you're broken. Oh, they're going to give you bad news. Oh, that kind of thing. As it was moving to the back, and my higher being, my soul, or whatever you choose to label, was saying, no, let's take the call. Let's go with the flow. Right? We suffer most, not in the fall, but in our resistance to it. Sometimes we fall, and because we fall, we don't get back up as easily, because we're already judging it. The fall is part of the rhythm. The getting back up is part of the rhythm. We're not machines. We are our souls in motion, and it's flowing through the rhythm. So Here are some practical ways that we can honor this law in our daily life or embody this law. You get to check in, number one, with your personal daily rhythm. Ask yourself, am I in a season of expansion or contraction? It's not wrong to be in either or both at the same time. Honor that energy, even when it doesn't match someone else's pace. You can track your natural cycles, your moon phases, your menstrual cycle, and your seasonal shifts. You can track them if you so choose. You can journal and ask yourself questions and write down the answers as they come to you. What phase am I emotionally or creatively or spiritually or all three in? Embody yourself, journal it, write it down, make it poetry, write a song about it, turn it into to instrumental music. For yourself, you can normalize that it's okay to rest and integrate. Your value doesn't disappear because you take a moment of rest. That's what I learned. Who I was going through what I was going through didn't lessen me. I thought, how am I going to talk this spiritual stuff if I'm going through this physical stuff? But the ebb and flow of it is me going through and learning to be an alchemist was how I was going to serve the next ebb and flow of the rhythm of my life. Your value doesn't disappear because you take time to be still. You are growing even in stillness, even when it's not visible to you or anyone else. Even when they don't hear spiritually your rhythm. Your spiritual practices are different for everyone. Some do Sabbath, some do new moon and full moon rituals, some do solstice ceremonies. There's a rhythm in it all, no right or wrong to it. You get to align your intentions, I'm so excited, your intentions with what best fits your ebb and flow, your rhythm, your rest cycles. Whether it's going out into nature and being part of nature, or sitting in your cozy chair in your den and listening to the ebb and flow of music. Or watching a TV program that has you ebbing and flowing in laughter. When you live rhythmically, try to say that word fast. I'll slow it down. When you live rhythmically, you live harmoniously. You live harmoniously with yourself and others and with spirit. Visualize your life as a wave and a breath. Take that moment anytime. You don't have to wait for, I need to meditate an hour. You can visualize your life as a wave or a breath or both while you're standing in a grocery line. and you're starting to get agitated by how long the line is. Visualize even in your stillness while you're sitting on a freeway in traffic. You're still. It's a moment of reflection, and the moment of reflection is rhythmically optimal. You get to hold it or release it. You get to decide what your divine timing is, what your divine rhythmic timing is. Rhythm is not something to fight. We've been told to fight so many things. We've been told to be in fight or flight mode because we're protecting ourselves. We've been told to boundary up. But ebb and flow can't get in, or it can, if you're resisting it, or if you're putting up all the boundaries to resist the ebb and flow. I was in a short chat session with a group today in my community, the community center where I live in, and we were talking about managing our stress levels, managing our cycles of depression, and managing our cycles of being excitable, or the better word is feeling stressed. So managing our stress. And the person that was leading the conversation was saying, well, you got to think, acknowledge that you're in that moment of having a negative moment of thought, and then you've got to manage it. First acknowledge it and manage it, and then move to allowing a positive moment to come in and change your emotional moment. It's so that the rhythmic of that timing of them having that that meeting, that 45-minute meeting, and them talking about that as I'm doing a podcast about the law of rhythm. Your emotions are rhythmic. You get to acknowledge them. You get to do a fight or flight of them if you choose, or you get to say, well, I noticed that rhythmically I'm in a mood because so-and-so tried to start an argument with me 30 minutes ago, and it's trying to stay with me rhythmically. My ego is keep bringing it up, but I'm aware that I don't like this feeling. I know it ebbed and it flowed, but I don't want it to ebb and flow again. I get to grow and expand from that action, that or interaction that just happened. Who do I want to be in this next ebb and flow moment? That's embodying the law of rhythm. Rhythm is not going to stop happening just because you don't like the way it feels. The universal laws, like we said, don't have gray area. They are turned on continuously, and they are always vibrationally listening to us. Why? Because there are vibrational energetic tools that we're being allowed to create with. Right? Again, when you're in the moment of crises, and crises is rhythm, it's the rise and flow of a situation or a circumstance that's happening, and we're giving the energy of movement to it on how we are reacting to what's happening. You get to intersect with that by asking embodying question. Mine insert in these three major seasons that were going on really back to back this year or in the last 2 years. I had to ask, what season am I in right now? What would it look like to honor the space fully instead of pushing it down? Because I did try to push it down. Where would I have been resisting the natural rhythm of life? Where if I didn't resist, I could have been looking at something different. You get to acknowledge that. It's not that you're saying, well, I want, but you get to acknowledge, oh, I could have been so much more into victim mode. That would have took me down a whole different road. Where would I have been if I resisted the ebb and flow or the rhythm of life? You get to have these embodying moments where you get to ask, where am I now? Who am I now? How is it flowing? Do I like the flow? Do I like the push and pull? Do I like the expansion and the contraction? And do I want to change? How do I want to change it if I want to change it? You are not separate from the universe. You are not separate from nature. You are not separate from the creator. You are part of nature, the universe, and the creator. You are the ocean and the moon. You are the seasons. You are born to rise and fall. You are born to rest and then rise again. You are rhythm in human form. This is what the creator came to be. So I ask you, reflect and share your season on any of my social media platforms. DM me. And if this has helped you, ebb and flow it. Subscribe, like, and share. If you need to re-listen to it, any of my past episodes, you're welcome. Go to my playlist and my YouTube. They will be on my Spotify, loaded up in a couple of weeks, or less, actually, in about a week. It'll take me to load them all up so that they will be present for you on that playlist. The universal laws are meant to be your spiritual, vibrational tools to use. The universe gave you a platform to interact with. It's called Earth Consciousness. We're intersecting with a law of rhythm continuously. Listen to yourself walk when you're walking in nature, or when you're walking to the parking lot of where your car at, or when you're dancing. Listen to the way you hum. Some people hum when they eat, and that tells you that the food is good. My best friend, she hums when she's loving her food. When music starts and your feet start to move, listen to yourself when you're brushing your teeth. Hear that rhythm. Now I'm going to get a little bit graphic. You've got rhythm when you pee and poop. Feel it. Take time to feel it. Take time, instead of rushing to do your business, take time to feel the flow of your body. The law of rhythm is there too. When you flutter your eyes, the law of rhythm is there. You hear this music in my background? The law of rhythm. The gentleman that went to find this music, the law of rhythm was expanding and contracting with him to find the right background music for this now moment. That went along with the flutter of lights in the background. Look at the movement of those lights moving with that music. Growth and expansion. That's the law of rhythm. Every universal law that we've talked about, all the 7 ones that's majorly known, is about growth and expansion. It's about shifting and evolving. It's about the inhalation of life and the exhalation of life. Expanding and contracting. I know we think of the law of rhythm that it has to be about music, but it's not just music that you listen to in your everyday life. It's the universe has its rhythmic, cosmic movement. Are you in vibration with it? We are part of growth and expansion. We are the growth and expansion. So I'd like to thank you for joining me and allowing me to share with you how to embody the universal laws, not just the law of rhythm, all of them that we know of so far. And there's so many more universal laws and cosmic laws. As we grow and expand, they grow and expand with us. They get opened up as we need them. Take what resonates for you and leave the rest behind. Your growth and expansion doesn't depend on whether somebody else does not like your rhythm or your flow with life. What matters is it happening for your highest and greatest good? So in this, I ask you to embody your questions to your higher self. Don't just ask them and say, "Oh, this is what I have to do. This is my affirmations." Embody your affirmations. Your affirmations have rhythm. Embody your intentions. Your intentions have rhythm. They have an expansion and they have a contraction. Find out where you are within it. And then allow yourself to soar and become, shift, and evolve. Then wash, rinse, and repeat. So thank you very much for being part of the Soul Awakening podcast, embodying the universal laws. Thank you. Peace.
(2023) Mother Gaia, third dimensional planet, ascending. Thank you from the Sacred Light Broadcast Network and Sacred Light Productions for tapping in and tuning in to all live and replay content, holistic, conscious, for your empowerment. Tap in to the Christ light within. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember that you are the one that you have been looking for. Enjoy this content. If you would like to collaborate or receive production through myself, Marcus Crystolite, direct message or email me at marcustut23@gmail.com to discuss details. Wholeness and balanced love. Ashe.